The woman that I'm whispering with today is Maisel Sumter, and she is the owner of a product called Metrin. And of course, you look gorgeous as usual. They say that you have been using Metrin since 1932. Yesterday I heard that you were 93. Today I hear that you're 70. Now, normally I wouldn't ask this question. Do we tell your age?
No. Most people don't. I might tell you something, however. I have December 1st issue of the various magazines, a new photograph. So I guess I'm going to admit I'm well over 80 come December 1st.
Maisel, you look wonderful. And you really attribute that to Metrin?
Definitely, definitely.
All right, but Maisel, tell me what's different about Metrin.
My name is Jennifer Cardenas, and welcome to our Biogime meeting. I know you're sitting out there and I'm up here, but let me assure you that not long ago I was in your seat. I felt very much like you feel probably tonight, because on October the 16th, my husband and I were invited to a Metrin Biogime meeting just like you have been tonight.
I'm going to make a very strong statement. Metrin changed my life, and I mean that. It really did. You see, I was somebody who had a skin problem. It was a bad skin problem. When I was 19, I was in a car accident. I hit the windshield and came back out. I shattered that windshield. And if any of you have ever seen a windshield, you know that that's about like putting your face through a cheese shredder. And I have tried just about every product that's on the market, plus dermatologists, and every solution you can imagine to try and help myself. And what I ended up doing is wearing a lot of makeup to cover it. But as you know, when you try and cover it with all that makeup, sometimes you don't look as good as you wish you did. And I wore so much makeup that it was like after I turned my head, the makeup would follow me 5 minutes later. It was just about that bad. So when Metrin came along, when I first heard about it, I didn't believe what people told me about it. I just didn't think there was a product that can make that much difference. But after the first time I used it, I was so impressed with how my skin felt. I knew it was the only product I was ever going to use again on my face. It was a product I had to have for the rest of my life. I take my skin for granted now. I don't wear under base toner, foundation, powder, blush. I don't know, do you think I need it or am I okay? I tell you, 9 months ago, I could not have imagined myself asking that question to anybody without makeup on. It was just beyond the realm of possibilities for me. So I want to invite you tonight to get yourself a kit, because as you know, we have a 100% money-back guarantee. So if everything that I've said about this product is right, you've got everything to gain. And if I'm wrong, you've got nothing to lose.
And the first time I used it, I could see a difference. And from then on, I was sold, and I swore I would never use anything else on my face.
I could not move my jaw. I had so much makeup on. And so I took my makeup off, and I thought about it. I said, how can I be a model and, wear that much makeup? I'm going to be old by the time I'm 30.
I have no makeup on and I have no blush on.
First I had to put a color on to blend all the color. Then I had to put foundation on to fill in the pores, powder, and then foundation again and powder, so no one knew I had anything on.
After using Metrin for one night, I no longer had oily skin.
I started to use the product Metrin on February 14th, and on the 4th day, my skin felt beautiful, felt great. I knew I could not give up the foundation and powder and blusher because of the acne scars and this sort of thing.
And to crown it all off, today I was at the health club and I was jogging with a friend of mine. And after we finished jogging, she said, "You know, Albert, I noticed that you no longer have those bumps up under your chin. What are you using?"
I could tell the difference. When I first started using it the first time, I mean, my skin was good before, but it was better. It was smooth. There weren't any blemishes anymore. I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh.
And for people to come up to me and say, what are you using on your skin? What are you using for foundation? And I say, nothing. They just cannot believe it. They've literally dragged me out of the store and followed me home because they've got to have some of that.
And we had a ski trip coming up the following week, so I took it on a ski trip and I started using it. Well, that was on February 6th, and I too have not worn makeup since that day.
As they talked about Metrin, of course, most of the conversation would go back to Mrs. Sumter, and I couldn't take my eyes off of her. She was, as they've said, in all sorts of ways, one of the most beautiful ladies that I've ever seen.
But I now know I have the problem that every woman on earth who's worn makeup, cosmetics for any length of time has, and that's enlarged pores. And usually there's an ugly blackhead right in the middle of every one of those pores. And so Metrin completely overcame that, and that's the only skin problem that I had. But along with the use of the cosmetics, I had premature aging due to the cosmetics, because they are aging, themselves. And Metrin overcame it. I, of course, look like an old lady, and my bones tell me that I am an old lady, but I do not have as deep of wrinkles across my forehead and on my neck as I used to have when I was about 40.
And I was like everybody else that you've heard. I was so excited because I had never had a skin problem, but I'd never had a skin that I was very proud of. And within 2 days' time, I could see and feel the difference. There was no oiliness, there was no dryness, there were none of the things that I had. I got really excited, and I called Maisel while she was still in town, and I said, I'm still not looking for a career opportunity, but I'd like to have as many cases of Metrin as I can buy. And she was a little bit perplexed and said in her very sweet way, well, why? And I said, because if you ever stop making it, I want to make sure I've got enough to last me until I die. And I was serious.
It should be used all over the skin surface, from the crown of the bust, the hands, arm, and of course the face. That's called complexion care. And definitely the hands are the first to age, and the neck is the second area of the skin that ages, and then the eye area always breaks down. So keep after that, and there's no thing on earth that will keep us from growing old. But with Metrin, they don't have to get old looking so rapidly.
Maisel, what is the difference in this product, in Metrin, than every other product?
The difference is it works.